Time for our ETF Spotlight. Today we're looking at U.S. Aerospace and Defense ETF, ITA. It's on pace for its best month since April 2009. Boeing certainly doing its part today, up more than 6% after posting blowout earnings. Our LeBeau joining us with more from freezing Chicago, where the polar vortex cold snap we hear, Phil, has already been felt.
It is chilly, Sarah. It is chilly here, but over at Boeing headquarters, boy, is it hot, including a very hot and impressive fourth quarter earnings report for the aerospace giant. The company earning $5.48 a share. That was nearly 90 cents better than the street expectation, and that's the reason you see this, a pop of more than 6% for Boeing shares. The fourth quarter, listen to this, record revenue, record free cash flow. Really, there was very little not to like in this earnings report from Boeing. Its annual revenue, by the way, last year topped $100 billion for the first time. And a lot of this is due to the increased delivery rate when it comes to commercial airplanes, which brings up what's the guidance for 2019. It's impressive. A boost of almost 10% up to 895 to 905 commercial airplanes. A big part of that, the 737. We're going to talk exclusively with Boeing CEO Dennis Muilenburg. That is coming up today a little after 1 o'clock on the exchange. You do not want to miss this interview, guys. We'll be talking with Dennis not only about the fourth quarter, but really more about 2019 and his belief that this could be a record year on top of a record 2018 for Boeing.
Phil, you know, it was such a comprehensive beat for Boeing, as you mentioned there. The stock is within 2% of its all-time high.
Yep.
Is there anything that investors feel is an unanswered question at this point? I mean, it seems like there's so much security among investors in the long-term free cash flow story in the backlog.
You know, there are a few things out there that people will be watching for in terms of what's going on with the 777X, the middle market airplane, those plans for the future. But that's more for the next couple of years, Mike. That's not something that will make somebody say, wait a second, get out of Boeing shares right now. And that's why there's so much confidence. Look, they've got a 7-year backlog worth almost $500 billion. That's not going anywhere. These planes are being delivered because airlines are seeing more people flying around the world. When you look at the numbers, guys, there's no doubt that for Boeing, it is in the sweet spot right now, especially when you look at the increased delivery cadence for the 737.
Also interesting that for all the hand-wringing over the trade war and Boeing being a trade stock, that they appear to be brushing off that kind of headwind.
And Sarah, we talked about this a little bit on Squawk this morning. Boeing gets about 23% of its revenue from China, so you can't blow it off. You can't sit there and say China doesn't matter to Boeing. It clearly is important, but look at it from the perspective of a Chinese airline. If you have a plane coming delivery next year, and there's a lot of saber rattling between China and the U.S., are you suddenly going to say, you know what, we don't want that plane from Boeing? Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go if you're China Eastern or one other airline? Are you suddenly going to get that plane from Airbus? You can't, because they've got a backlog that they're meeting with their customers. So there is an insulation there, and a lot of times it's a knee-jerk reaction that brings this stock down whenever anything happens with regard to trade tensions in China.